open this up with the new look Los Angeles Clippers. We do have a spelling error. That is what happens when Shaun is not on the podcast. But Toddy, what are your thoughts about the new look Los Angeles Lakers? Clippers.
Yeah, for the Clippers, I mean, going out to go get guys like Bradley Beal, who took obviously a significant pay cut from I'd say probably one of the worst contracts in the NBA. From him, obviously getting cut from Phoenix, and technically cut. But this is NBA, so he got bought out by Phoenix, and they wanted nothing to do with him. Brad was like, "I'll stay. You gonna still pay that contract?" And obviously Phoenix was like, "We have other plans." They're bringing in guys like Jalen Green, and re-signing Devin Booker to an extension. They were going a different direction. So Bradley Beal is not a bad player. He just was way highly overpaid, and he had a no trade clause. So shout out to DC for giving him that contract.
He was one of only two players with a no trade clause: LeBron James, Bradley Beal.
Insane. And I think now it's just LeBron and Damian Lillard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Because I think Dame has a no trade clause too.
Yeah.
And obviously them getting Chris Paul, it's gonna be interesting. So what is the 5? Is the 5 Chris Paul, Brad, Harden, Kawhi, Zubac?
Brother, this is not AAU. You're not starting 3 guards.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So how does this work? I feel like if anybody can figure it out, it's definitely Ty Lue. They took the Nuggets to 7 games, and the Nuggets took the Thunder to 7 games. So does that mean that the Clippers could have beaten OKC? I don't know. I think the team that they have currently is interesting. I think they're better now, but I don't know how much better they could be because we don't know how good Kawhi Leonard's going or how healthy Kawhi Leonard's going to be. And we all know that James Harden, when he gets to the playoffs, he has these flashes, though. That's the crazy part. Like, I'm a Harden guy. I know Kenny's probably going to get on me for saying this, but in the playoffs, when they need him the most, he's not going to show up as much as he wants to. So,
oh my gosh, almost like
I don't know how. Wow, why is Lamar catching strays? What the hell? We're talking about basketball here.
Whoa,
but I think
what it is.
I don't know what 40-year-old Chris Paul is going to do for you. Like, is Chris Paul coming off the bench? Like, is that? I feel like that's probably what has to happen. I think Brad's going to start Harden. You might have Chris Dunn in the lineup for defensive purposes. Can Kawhi give you 60 games? He played like 30-something. He missed basically half the year last year. So this Clippers team is interesting. Adding Bradley Beal. How good can Bradley Beal be? Our guy Dre says in the comments, CP3 starting. So what's the lineup though? That's what my real question is. Is it CP? So Brad's coming off the bench? So,
bro, if you ask me, I would say it's got to be James, Kawhi, Zubac, Brad, and Derrick Jones. You got to have somebody be a POA defender. And for those that don't know, POA stands for point of attack. Someone has to play defense. It ain't gonna be James, and it ain't gonna be Brad.
That's what I'm saying. You could have Chris Dunn. He could start too. He could be a guy. He could be.
He can't shoot though. Derrick Jones can shoot a little bit.
Yeah, that's one thing. And if you have Chris Paul on the floor, he's a defensive liability. He's 40 and he's small. So, what is 40-year-old Chris Paul going to give you? I get it. It's a reunion, but how long ago Lob City was? That was like 10 years ago. 15, almost 15 years ago. Lob City, that was when Blake was jumping out the gym. So
yeah, Dre,
I don't really know how good this Clippers team will be. You could argue they usually get to the playoffs and lose in the first round because Kawhi's hurt or he balls out for like 2 or 3 games and then next thing you know, Kawhi's gone. So I think they're slightly better today, adding a guy in Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is not a bad basketball player. Let's just get that out the way. I just think, but it's a similar situation. If you look at him playing in Phoenix with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, two guys. Kevin Durant doesn't need the ball. Booker, and you're going with a guy in with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Kind of, I don't. There's only one ball. That's what I feel like is, and Chris Paul is a guy who also needs the ball in his hands. So, how good can Bradley Beal be? How effective can he be? I don't know, but I feel like I already said it earlier. Anybody can kind of figure out to get the most out of their players. It's definitely Tyronn Lue. He can perhaps when Harden and Kawhi come out the game, you could probably run him with Chris Paul and the second unit. That could be a way he could get more effective and get more involved offensively with the second unit. So, I mean, but the best player on the team is obviously still Kawhi Leonard. So, this and then I thought Zubats had a really good year last year. He's looking to build off of that. So this Clippers team can definitely compete in the West, but I feel like the West is still pretty. It's kind of an arms race every single year in the West. And with OKC winning it last year, and they're still the clear favorite to win it this year, given the fact there are a couple of injuries in the East, and the East is usually pretty weak. And you're looking at it in the West. I think Denver got better. Who's another team? The Lakers are still there. Skinny Luka. We all saw the Men's Health magazine. Obviously, the Rockets are better, adding Kevin Durant. Dallas is a team kind of up in the air about because you don't know, obviously, them having Cooper Flag. But they have two guys, and Anthony Davis, who's usually hurt, and Kyrie Irving, my favorite player. He's out until Christmas. No, not Christmas. He's out until like March. Because I think he tore his ACL this year. So he's going to be out for some time. So you're kind of looking at the West, like who's going to compete in the West or try and contend for a championship going up against OKC. I don't really see anybody, maybe Houston, because OKC is pretty much bringing back the exact same team. And they pretty much rolled through the West, except through the Nuggets, because the Nuggets gave them the most trouble, and that was pretty much just Jokic carrying them to 7 games, and Aaron Gordon was hobbled when it came to Game 7. So, and they got better. So, added a couple of shooters. Memphis, they got worse.
Yeah, without Bane, it makes you wonder if
there's no Bane. So, like, are the Clippers a top 4 team in the West? I don't think so. I feel like they're like 6th, 7th, maybe. Because a lot of their talent depends on health, and they're kind of old. If you look at like most of the people on the team, it's like 30 plus. I don't know if Chris Paul said this or not, but I've been seeing on Twitter they've been calling it an unction. and unctions. Everyone is like, most of their star players are 30 plus. So a lot of these guys are obviously seasoned vets, been through a lot through this league, and definitely play the game of basketball. But health is going to determine how good they can be, how far they could go, and I'll say 6th. That's how good that they probably could be. 6th. That's where I'll stand. 6th for the Clippers this year.
So let's go ahead and get to some of these comments. We have a lot of comments going on. The Instagram live is booming. As you guys know, we have to type them all out. So give me 2 seconds and we will get this thing going. Okay. So
I mean, like, how
are we going on, Toddy?
Oh, go ahead.
So what I was going to say,
I just want to know, like, how good do you think?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you got?
I just want to know, like, how good do you think the Clippers could be?
So let's get to these comments before I come a breakdown off these comments. So we have Marcellus again, 4 washed superstars. In all 153 episodes of Stats Over Politics, Bradley Beal has been irrelevant. We got a comment from Instagram saying the Clippers will finish the 6th through 8th seed this season. And then our boy Dre said, you think they'll be a playoff team this season? Will they finish 6 to 8? Absolutely not. They finished the 6th seed, but what a lot of you guys are forgetting, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Clippers, 3 through 6, all have the same record. They all have the same record. One game, they go from 6 to 3. They drop from 6 to 7. So it was already a tight race. And you're telling me they didn't get better? They got rid of Norman Powell, brought in Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, and John Collins. You got rid of one starter and brought in 4. So but subtraction and addition, they got better. So I get it. You know, they're old, they're this, they're that. Bringing in Chris Paul to be your backup point guard, hands down, he's the best backup point guard in the NBA. You got John Collins, who had a career year last year, averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 41% from 3, and 52% from the field. They got rid of him because when he was playing, they were winning too much. They trying to tank. You're winning too. You're producing too much. We got to get rid of you. Brook Lopez, 13 points, 5 assists. 5 rebounds, 2 assists with 2 blocks. So you essentially have 2 rim protectors in Zubac and Brook Lopez. So you're really not losing anything. Who I think could be this starting 5, like I mentioned, you got not Chris Paul, you got James Harden coming off an all-NBA season, all-star season, Kawhi Leonard, who averaged 22, 6, and 3 in only 37 games, Bradley Beal, who is arguably the best third option in the NBA, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 50% from the field, and 40% from 3 with Zubac, who was arguably a defensive player of the year. He could have won defensive player of the year last year. Once Wemby goes down, he was a favorite for a while, and then Evan Mobley hit the scene. And then you got Derrick Jones, who shot 37% from 3 last year, and to have him be your point of attack defender, like I said, those other 3 guys, besides Kawhi Leonard, do not defend. So to have a guy like Derrick Jones out there that you can throw out there, he's going to give you hustle plays, and he's going to play defense. They have a platoon of 11 guys. Toddy, there has been 6 examples of in NBA history where they have played 11 guys, and the youngest guy was 28. The youngest guy on this team is John Collins. So the Clippers, 2016, 2017, played 11 guys one time, and the youngest guy was 28 years old. And then in 1998, the Miami Heat did it 5 times. So we are going to see that number tripled by the time it's the end of the season because they're going to play 11 deep. So what Ty Lue is doing is saying, Kawhi Leonard, when you go down, we were 26 and 11 with just James Harden. James Harden said, get in my backpack. I'm taking us there. Now you add a John Collins. Now you add a Chris Paul. Now you add a Bradley Beal. So let's say 70-30. He's a number 2 option. 30% is a number 3 option. So even when Kawhi is sitting down, you're still bringing in Bradley Beal. A lot of guys are disrespecting Bradley Beal because of what he did in the Suns. The Suns was a shit show. Before he got there, they're going to be a shit show after he leaves. Bradley Beal on this new look Clippers team is going to make them a lot better. It's not crazy to think that they can be a top 3 seed in the West. You know, it's not crazy to say they'll be a top 2 seed in the West because I am not the biggest fan of the Houston edition of Kevin Durant. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know, I get it. You traded for the name. He's won 2 playoff series in 6 seasons. So we're going to be moving on from there. I think the Clippers can be I think they can be a top 2 seed. Could they be number 1? They're not going to be able to surpass the Thunder. And like Toddy said, This Clippers team with Norman Powell took the Nuggets to 7, and then the Nuggets took the Thunder to 7. Does that mean the Clippers could take the Thunder to 7? I don't know. But what I'm going to come on here and say is this new look Clippers team is legit. And to have a coach like that in Tyronn Lue, the sky is the rock. The sky is the limit. You know, can they win an NBA championship? I don't think so because the Thunder are just so good. But I think this new look Clippers team is going to be very good, Toddy. So if you have to put your money on it, after hearing our conversation, if you have to put your money on where they finish, where are you putting your money?
6th. Number 6. That's where I'm at. The West currently right now is I'm looking at Lakers, I'm looking at the Rockets, Mavs could be in the mix, Warriors are another team. OKC is just they're in their own lane. So what I named OKC, I named the Rockets, Warriors, Lakers. I said the Mavs. I feel like the Mavs are going to be in there. Clippers. They're right there. So, I mean, unless you think they're going to be like fourth or second, I don't know like how good they could actually be. And yes, Kev, you brought up a really good point about them playing fairly well when Kawhi Leonard was out and James Harden was pretty much carrying throughout the regular season. That could be another role. Let's just say if James goes down or if Kawhi goes down, Brad's going to step in and be like, hey, I can score. You need me? You just want to roll the ball out, scheme up plays for me? Not a problem not a problem by me. So they could be. I feel like I'll say their ceiling is fourth, floor is sixth. They're like right in there. I don't think
the
they're
comments
playing
are coming
team.
for you, Toddy.
I feel like
the comments are coming for you, brother. You missed two teams, the Kings. And Dre said the Warriors always manage to make the playoffs when he's not wrong. So you didn't mention the Warriors. I wouldn't say mention the Kings. You know, we're going to be the new the Chicago Kings of the Western Conference. And then Ty Lue is not the coach to bring them a title. Ty Lue was the coach that brought them back 3-1. Game 6 said, everyone leave $100 in the ceiling. We're going to come back to get our money. And he did.